Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. We'll be discussing Ripple and XRP today, along with the rest of the cryptocurrency and financial markets. I hope you all will keep an eye on what's going on in Singapore. Remember how I told you that the entire world is watching the United Kingdom? So, here's the deal. Everyone should be watching to see what Singapore does now. Recent months have seen a flurry of activity in and around Singapore. Given the importance of instantaneous liquidity, this is one of the most significant Ripple-related announcements so far. They were able to offer regulated digital asset products and services and scale customer use of on-demand liquidity after receiving in-principle approval of a major payment institution license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which is the Central Bank of Singapore, moving hundreds of billions of dollars per day, as reported by the Singapore News. What a shocking revelation. Right. From now on, though, a great deal of change is imminent. And what exactly were those massive events? The Singapore area, of course. This one is easy, you know. Nevada. On June 27th and 28th, Nevada will be hosting, or I should say attending, an event with Seamless Asia in Singapore. Learn about the innovations, technologies, and market shifts that are reshaping Asia's digital economy. Help me revolutionize international money transfers with you. Who else than Nordea is in on this? Ripple. There will be a lot of famous people at this Singapore conference. In actuality, the world's leading financial institutions, including Bank of America, HSBC, and ING, are among those listed here as confirmed attendance. Bank of JP Morgan. Other examples abound as well. The possibilities are endless, really. DBS, a well-known name in the crypto community. They are a huge financial institution that has been studying cryptocurrency for years. Of course, many of these financial institutions have. Further down the page, you'll find some of the most prominent names in online shopping platforms and retail giants. These are among the largest shopping destinations available today. It's all here, from IKEA to Adidas to Dyson. Food and drink, as well as the airline, hotel, and tourism industries. We're talking about some very famous people here. Specifically, I am interested in large financial institutions and telecommunications companies. But sure, it's a big deal, it's in Singapore, and it's all about international money transfers and the future of the digital economy. Ripple, of course, just made this huge statement about Singapore. Plus, just recently, the IMF. The IMF went on to add that crypto bans may not be successful in the long run for nations that implement them. Not a big surprise. Does this really come as a shock to anyone else? This seems like old news to me. All the things we've been saying up to this point. It won't end well for the countries that don't support crypto, not even the United States. The United States is losing a great deal of its technology leadership because of crypto. But keep in mind that we discussed a piece from 2017 throughout our conversation. I know. Oh, I see. The year was 2017, which is an eternity in the modern world. The IMF chief predicts that digital currencies will eventually replace banks. My point in bringing this up is that, according to Christine Lagarde and others, cryptocurrencies are currently worthless if one looks back in time and reads a few publications, such as the one I tweeted out at the end of May. From 2020 all the way until May of 2022, this is a CNBC piece. Almost a year ago at this point. Christine Lagarde has previously stated that cryptocurrencies are not worth anything and that they should be regulated to safeguard novice investors. The entire asset class was under her scrutiny. She was quoted in this piece from 2017, so we know that she said something to the effect that this technology can eventually replace national money, which calls into question the fractional banking paradigm as we know it today. Do you find that fascinating? It's fascinating to consider how long institutions like the IMF have predicted cryptocurrency would revolutionize established financial systems and currency types. It's no surprise that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is warning governments against banning cryptocurrency today. Still, the fact that they've done a complete about-face is intriguing. Dr. Martin Heisenberg, of the Uphold European Union organization, argues that EU law is essential to support a digital euro, postponed from its original release date of June 28. This comes after a statement by finance ministers last week seemed to question the purpose for the scheme and the draft bill covering privacy and technical issues for the central bank digital currency leaked. Yes, the law for a digital euro is currently on hold, but I believe that after a thorough review, it can be simplified in the coming weeks or months. However, legislation is in the works. These CBDCs are the focal point of the development. Just give it some time. And I think that's why we're seeing the IMF do a complete about-face and say that crypto bans in those nations won't work in the long run. What does Singapore have to do with all of this, anyway? This is fascinating. I'm about to get to that part, so please bear with me. But first, I'd like to tell you guys a little something about Brazil, because if you visit Ripple's Twitter page and scroll down from this tweet all the way back to February 22nd, you'll see an interesting development. So, just 2 days ago, they discussed several CBDC strategies. One country that was mentioned was Brazil. A CBDC is scheduled to become live in Brazil in 2024, according to the country's central bank. I found this to be quite intriguing, though, because at least one of the waves had nothing to do with Brazil. What about that? As a response to Crypto Insight UK, Anderson tweeted a few photos. And there's almost always a chance that something's happening off stage. This is the tweet from Crypto Insight UK first. Your thoughts? Strangely, after tweeting about their collaboration with Montenegro on CBDCs, Ripple made a passing reference to Brazil. I've been a flag bearer for 3 countries for quite some time. Is an announcement forthcoming? Here we are, finally. Attention, please. I'm keeping an eye on Brazil, India, and the UK. A change is on the horizon. And, yes, I have been keeping tabs on the United Kingdom, Brazil, and Singapore. India is substantial in size as well. There is, however, little doubt in my mind that Ripple is cooperating closely with India. Naturally, we've covered this ground before. I think it's important for everyone to keep an eye on events unfolding in other parts of the world. I use the expression like when speaking English in a country other than the United States. You guys, time is of the essence. I don't care what the SEC does, so what they're doing is irrelevant. The time has come for all of us to pay attention to events unfolding in the rest of the world. We are dedicated to being at the forefront of what's new in the world of cryptography. This comes straight from the UK Treasury. And here in the north, we have a few of things from Brazil. There is a lot happening now that we don't know about because of non-disclosure agreements and similar measures. That's why it's important to go into the paperwork and records that surround these incidents, though. However, there have been reports of private meetings between Ripple and Brazil's central bank. It was Wednesday, June 3, 2020. This partner solutions director has since been spotted in central banks in Brazil. Ripple has an intriguing open position here beginning in August of the year 2022. By teaming up with Travelex Bank, Ripple will be able to offer cryptocurrency-enabled payment services in Brazil. Travelex Bank, the country's first foreign exchange-only bank, has teamed with Ripple to enhance their customers' international transactions by utilizing Ripple's blockchain technology. Sure, dude. The heck is that? On-demand liquidity, which once more is based on XRP as the preferred currency for that service. This collaboration launches Brazil's first crypto-enabled payment services. With Travelex Bank, your money is never left on a computer. We pioneered the market as Brazil's first FX-only bank, chartered and supervised by the country's central bank. This is fascinating. At the same time as a CBDC is being implemented in Brazil, a retail CBDC is simultaneously being implemented in the United States. Where are we in the grand scheme of things? The prototype being developed by Brazil and Ripple is interesting. Ripple's participation in Brazil's CBDC efforts was facilitated by a confluence of factors. And I already know the responses. Nick, what gives you such optimism about CBDCs? Seriously, what's wrong with you? Don't you know that CBDCs are used for, like, controlling stuff and such? I've already talked about this issue a lot. A victory for central banks is certain. There's no way to avoid it. It's coming whether you like it or not, so you might as well make a fortune off of the backs of central banks. And now that the parts are falling into place, we can make an investment in them. That way, when we succeed and become affluent, we'll be able to help people who didn't have the same opportunity. The goal here is to dispel myths, establish connections, and gain a better understanding of the current state of the global financial system. Even if most people miss the boat by then, we can still use the riches we earn to benefit others and make the world a better place. Joining in on this groundbreaking new development. There are a lot of things occurring in Brazil behind the scenes, but I also want to talk to you all about another important milestone that is happening in and around Singapore. Come on, let's head this way. This is a tweet I made just a little while ago. The date on this is June 21st. This occurred on the very same day that Ripple received this authorization. Singapore's digital asset market is impacted by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Amazon, and JP Morgan. It seems the IMF has changed its mind about cryptocurrencies and digital assets. Singapore is the location, and the topic is digital assets. This authorization will be issued to Ripple on the same day. Insane inside of this. Okay. This white paper is open in front of me right now. Intricacy abounds. This white paper contains a wealth of useful information. Not everything can be covered here. Just be aware that they cover a wide range of prospective uses for digital assets, including stablecoins and other similar topics. Prepaid packages, online shopping, contractual agreements, commercial lease, trade finance donations, cross-border payments, and so on are all major areas that we've been concentrating on, and one of the things that I've been focusing on is the solutions and some of the things that they've looked at in terms of the efficiencies. And again, it seems to me that CBDCs are the focal point here. They do, however, describe the platform and its layout in detail. Access, service, asset, and platform layers make up this overview of the system's architecture. You can also take a wild guess as to what they're wearing. They utilize derivatives, signifying a market size of $600 trillion or more. In contrast, this document serves as digital currency that sits between the service layer and the asset layer. Everything is connected, and you have tokenized bank liabilities in the form of CBDC stablecoins. Also, distributed ledger technology, DLT, and other types of ledgers are front and center. Stranger even, this development coincides with Ripple's official green light in Singapore. I am not implying any connection between Ripple and this. To wit, I find it quite fascinating that Singapore is rapidly emerging as a key participant in the area of digital asset and crypto innovation. Could tokenized bank liabilities, central bank digital currencies, and well-regulated stablecoins serve as means of exchange in the next generation of cryptocurrencies, as suggested by smart contracts? However, their value must be demonstrated beyond that of existing electronic payment systems. Since investors and major banks are still watching the cryptocurrency market, the MOS believes a universal standard should be implemented in the digital asset market, which was another point brought up in the study. The Financial Oversight Authority therefore recommends using the concept of purpose-bound money first explored in Project Orchid. With a solid plan and technical infrastructure in place, the program hopes to make digital currency more widely available in the future. Guys, I hope you get this. That life is moving at a breakneck pace. And the same factor, the critical mass that is, directing this whole effort. Ripple has a license from a central bank to provide digital asset products and services to increase the use of on-demand liquidity for things like cross-border payments, so it may talk about the future of digital money and digital infrastructures. I have no doubt that Ripple has connections to powerful people in the world. Hence, my justification for calling Ripple a chosen company and XRP a chosen asset. However, it is clear from the information provided below that the PBM layout will be technology agnostic. Therefore, it will function with various assets and databases. There are two basic parts to a PBM, the wrapper, which specifies the application, and the underlying store of value, which acts as collateral. With this architecture, digital currency can be used for new applications without changing its fundamental characteristics. Meanwhile, momentum is building for a CBDC innovation. They make it clear that Ripple's efforts are appreciated. Let's take a look at Ripple right now, and I'll tell you something. They're rapidly rising to prominence as a participant in these arenas. And what do you know? Their service facilitates the issuance, as they say around these parts, of digital currencies and stablecoins by financial institutions and governments. My guess is that many of these central banks are already collaborating with Ripple on this project because of this. This is why I believe Ripple has the potential to become a market leader. It's all been summed up, and I stated it over here. There are some major shifts occurring in the Singapore area. With the help of an API license from the International Monetary Fund, Amazon, and JP Morgan, Ripple is increasing the usage of XRP for on-demand liquidity. There is silence regarding XRP bar. Furthermore, this is all really intriguing. Digital currencies may be provided via CBDC's tokenized bank liabilities or properly regulated stablecoins, as mentioned in the white paper. It also describes the various applications of digital currencies in industries as diverse as commerce, finance, real estate, international payments, and more. The International Monetary Fund recently stated that outright crypto bans are counterproductive. They appear to be preparing to make a complete U-turn. The time has come for me to put some resources to use. Is that so? And here are all the screenshots for your perusal. Please share your thoughts with me in the section below. The million-dollar question is, when do you anticipate all of this to occur? For the simple reason that I anticipate a fascinating technology revolution and progress in this asset class and with these particular assets over the coming decade. And you guys, I'm really psyched. I know many people are impatiently waiting. Those of you who are particularly impatient are probably already getting a little bit itchy. When are these assets going to increase in value, they seem to be asking. I think it's important for you to know that, yes, we will still go through liquidity cycles every 4 years. The liquidity cycles can shift, of course, but only until that shift occurs. In fact, I went so far as to suggest that developments in the liquidity space might occur sooner rather than later. In any case, I'm around for the big technology boom, and I anticipate something akin to the dot-com era. That, I believe, will occur in the same way that crypto has already occurred. And I expect that to be much more pronounced here, given that we're discussing the disruption of real currencies and financial systems. And on that note, I hope you found this video entertaining. Please leave a like and subscribe for more videos. See you in the next one, bye.